Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? How are you all? How are you doing? I'm doing super great and hoping the same about you. It's the lecture number 10th today, and we are going to start unit number 7, that is asking permission and permission giving and refusing permission. Permission is one such common function that we use every single day. Every day we ask, can I do this or may I do that? These two questions are used by billions around the globe. We ask permission in many ways, and the way we ask depends who the person we are addressing. And that's very right. हम रोज़ परमिशन ये एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो हम रोज़ कर रहे होते हैं. कभी किसी चीज़ के लिए हमें किसी से कोई परमिशन चाहिए होती है, किसी चीज़ के लिए हमें किसी से कोई परमिशन चाहिए होती है. जैसे बच्चों को कोई चीज़ लेनी है तो वो अपने पेरेंट्स से परमिशन लेते हैं. अगर किसी एम्प्लॉय को छुट्टी चाहिए या उनको कहीं जाना है तो वो अपने बॉस से परमिशन लेते हैं. अगर किसी को कोई चीज़ यूज़ करनी है तो वो उस ऑनर से परमिशन लेता है. सो every day we all do it. We all seek for permissions from different people around us, and this happens all over the world. Now in this unit you're going to read some of the common expressions for asking permission. Expressions for asking permission. Can I ask you a question? Do you mind if I smoke? Is it okay if I sit here? So these are different ways. These are 3 different ways of asking permission. Like expressions for giving permission. Sure, go ahead. Certainly, no problem. All right. No, of course not. Of course. So these are the different expressions that we use to give the permission or to refuse it. Expressions for refusing permission. I would rather you. Didn't. Sorry, no. Yes, I do. Mind. So what are they? I would rather you. Didn't. Sorry, no. Yes, I do mind. So what have you read? You just have read different expressions for giving permission and for refusing permission. To give the expression used for giving permission are sure, go ahead, certainly, no problem, all right, no, of course not, of course. Expression for refusing permission: I would rather you didn't. Sorry, no. Yes, I do mind. Asking and giving permission. Do you mind if I use your computer? Yes, of course. Please help yourself. Asking and refusing permission. Do you mind if I use your computer? I do mind. It's a very expensive equipment. So ये एक refusing, somebody asked for the permission and the person refused it. Can I use your computer? No, you cannot. I am working. Refusing permission. So that they were different ways of refusing the permission. Refusing permission. Refusing permission can be very tricky. If it is refused in a very rough, abrupt manner, the other person will probably feel very hurt and insulted. A friendlier way to refuse permission is to use the phrase, I would rather you did, because I'm doing an important work at the moment. So this is a nice, good way of saying no. Read these short dialogues and notice a friendlier way to refuse permission. It's a bit hot. Do you mind if I open the window? B. Well, I would rather you didn't. You see, it's summer and you might get a lot of insects coming in, but I'll switch on the air conditioner if you like. A. Is it okay if I smoke? B. Well, I would rather you didn't smoke in the house. Do you think you could go outside and smoke? While refusing permission, you may add a short hesitation phrase Well, other possibilities could be actually, well, to tell you the truth. Use the phrase, I would rather you didn't. Give a reason. Offer an alternative. I'll switch on the air conditioner if you like. So these were the different ways of asking and refusing permissions. Then comes modal verbs. Modal verbs are used when we use express possibility or impossibility. Modal verbs are used when we express possibility or impossibility. जब हमने किसी चीज़ की possibility या impossibility को express करना होता है तो हम कौन सा verbs use करते हैं? We use modal verbs. We can also use these modals to ask, grant and refuse permissions. हम modal verbs को कब इस्तेमाल करते हैं? परमिशन लेने के लिए, परमिशन देने के लिए या फिर परमिशन को रिफ्यूज़ करने के लिए. We can use the modal auxiliary can in asking and giving permission informally and in making requests. जो auxiliary verb है can वो इस्तेमाल होता है to take the permission and to give the permission informally and in making requests also. Read these examples to understand this point. Can I leave early? In other words, you can say, do I have your permission to leave early? That would be informal. Yes, you can leave any time after 3. In other words, it means yes, you have permission to leave any time after 3. Informal. Can you tell me the time? In other words, it means please tell me the time. Informal request. Can I leave early? In other words, you can say, do I have your permission to leave early? Informal. Yes, you can leave any time after 3. In other words, it means yes, you have permission to leave any time after 3. Informal. So you see the use of the auxiliary or the modal verb can. Please remember, informal is not the same as impolite. Informal is not at all same as impolite. Informal speech is used in relaxed and friendly situations. Informal speech कब दी जाती है? जब relaxed और friendly situations होती हैं. Formal speech is used to show respect और formal speech respect जब आपने show करनी हो तब दी जाती है. Impolite speech is angry, rude and probably insulting. So these are the different way of saying different things. First, you've read that informal is not the same as impolite. Informal speech is used in relaxed and friendly situations. Formal speech is used to show respect. Impolite speech is angry, rude and probably insulting. I'm sure आपको clear हो गया होगा because it's written in the simple and easy words. Then comes the structure of the simple continuous tense, future continuous tense. Present simple. Sentences that are about a definite schedule or timetable usually contain future words. जिनमें definite time दिया गया हो, एक timetable दिया गया हो, तो उनके अंदर जो words use हो रहे होते हैं वो future words use हो रहे होते हैं. The train leaves Sakhar at 9 p.m. tonight. Jamal starts work next week. Present continuous. Sentences that are about a definite plan or arrangement. वो sentences जिनके अंदर एक definite plan या arrangement बताया जा रहा हो usually contains future words. उनके अंदर usually क्या आ रहे होते हैं? Future words आ रहे होते हैं. और the future is understood from the context या फिर future जो है वो उसके context में understood होता है. Maria is taking her matric exam next year. They can't play tennis with you tomorrow. They are working. We are going to the theater on Friday. When the speaker is making a prediction based on evidence, there were clouds. There are clouds. It is going to rain. When the speaker already has an intentional plan, we are going to write the report tomorrow. She has won the lottery. She says she's going to Dubai. When the speaker is making a prediction, tomorrow will be hot and sunny. People will face severe climatic changes in the next decade. When the speaker decides to do something at the time of speaking and had no previous plan but is spontaneous, hold on, I'll get a pen. Maybe we'll stay longer and watch television. Future continuous is used in English to show that you are in the middle of doing something at the given moment. The action will have been started and it will not have finished at the instant. It is formed with the auxiliary will followed by another verb in its ing form. Going to can be used instead of will. Examples: future continuous is used in English to show that you are in the middle of doing something at the given moment. Future continuous tense कब use होता है? When you have to show that you are in the middle of doing something at the given moment. At that instant, given moment, the action will have been started and it will not have finished at that instant. It is formed with the auxiliary will followed by another verb in its ing form. कर कैसे बनता है? इसके अंदर auxiliary verb will use होता है और उसके बाद जो main verb आता है उसके साथ हम क्या लगाते हैं? ing लगाते हैं. Going to can be used instead of will, or going to can be used instead of will. I will be visiting my friend this weekend. I am going to visit my friend. They will be cooking at 6. They are going to be cooking at 6. How can we form future continuous tense? Read the rules given below. Will be plus verb plus ing. क्या है आपका structure? Will be comes first, then comes the verb, and we add ing with the verb. When your plane arrives tonight, I will be waiting for you. Am is are plus going to plus verb plus ing. When your plane arrives tonight, I am going to be waiting for you. If you're using going to, you would be writing it this way. When your plane arrives tonight, I am going to be waiting for you. And if you're using will be, then you would be writing it this way. When your plane arrives tonight, I will be waiting for you. We can use either will or going to create the future continuous with little or no difference in meaning. हाँ, will use करके या फिर going to use करके future continuous tense बनाते हैं with very little or no difference in the meaning. Use 1. Future continuous is used to indicate that a longer action in the future will be interrupted. Future continuous tense किस लिए use होता है? To indicate that the longer action in the future will be interrupted. For example, I will be watching TV when she arrives tonight. I will be waiting for you when your bus arrives. I am going to be staying at the Best Western Hotel if you need to contact me. So that is how we go about the future continuous tense. Use number 2. Specific time as an interruption. As we had said in use 1, that the future continuous interrupted by an action. Future continuous tense हमेशा it is interrupted by the action. However, you can also use a specific time as an interruption, और आप एक specific time को भी use कर सकते हो as an interruption. For example, tonight at 8 p.m. I am going to be eating dinner. At midnight today, we will still be driving through Multan. Use number 3. Parallel actions. When we use the future continuous tense, with two actions in the same sentence, It means that both actions will be happening at the same time and so these are parallel actions. जब सेंटेंस के अंदर दो एक्शंस आ रहे हों फ्यूचर कॉन्टिन्यूअस टेंस में, तो इसका ये मतलब है कि दोनों एक्शंस एक ही वक्त पे किए हो रहे थे एट द सेम टाइम, और इसलिए उनको हम क्या कहते हैं, पैरेलल एक्शंस कहते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम गोइंग टू बी स्टार्टिंग व्हाइल शी इज मेकिंग डिनर. While Sabine is reading, Talal will be watching television. Tonight, they will be eating dinner, discussing their plans, and having a good time. So you can see that in all these sentences, parallel actions are going on. Use number 4, atmosphere. In English, we often use a series of parallel actions to describe atmosphere in the future. For example, when I arrive at the party, everybody is going to be celebrating. Some will be dancing, others are going to be singing, a few people will be eating tikkas, and several people are going to be talking. So that is how we use simple future tense in different situations. The future continuous is used to indicate that a longer action in the future will be interrupted. We use it. The use number 2 of it is specific time as an interruption. Then it is used to describe parallel actions and then to describe the atmosphere. Now we are going to study about writing an essay. An essay is a piece of writing with several paragraphs written about one topic. ऐसे क्या होता है, एक piece of writing होती है जिसमें बहुत सारे paragraphs होते हैं एक ही topic के बारे में लिखे गए. An essay is a piece of writing that generally shows the writer's view on a particular subject. Essay क्या है? It's a piece of writing जिससे writer का view पता चलता है एक particular subject के बारे में. An essay, therefore, is a collection of your ideas. Essay क्या है? It's a collection of your ideas, and these ideas are written in a very logical and coherent way so that they make sense and do not look disjointed or haphazard. In other words, whatever thoughts, ideas, and views you write in an essay must be well structured. Organized way में होता है. It should be in a way that जो जिस लाइन की, जिस सेंटेंस की पैराग्राफ में जिस जगह है और जिस पैराग्राफ की पूरे ऐसे में जहाँ जगह है वो वहाँ पर ही आ रहा हो. इट शुड बी रिटन इन दिस वे. इट शुड बी रिटन इन हैपहैज़र्ड वे. फॉर एग्जांपल आप पहले आप लिख रहे हैं किसी बिल्डिंग का स्ट्रक्चर और आप स्ट्रक्चर लिखते लिखते एकदम कह दें कि इट इज़ इन इस्लामाबाद. पहले स्ट्रक्चर आप बता रहे हैं इट हैज़ 4 stories और फिर कहते हैं इट इज़ इन इस्लामाबाद एंड देन द अदर पार्ट ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर टू डिस्क्राइब द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द बिल्डिंग. that wouldn't be right appropriate way of writing the essay. In other words, whatever thoughts, ideas, and views you write in an essay must be well structured, clear, and presented in a way that the reader finds easy to follow. It should be in a way that the reader won't mind reading it and he or she would understand that what the writer is trying to say in the essay. Your essay writing skills must be neat, tidy, and readable so that a reader can follow it easily. An essay can have many purposes, such as to describe, to narrate, to analyze, to compare, to contrast, to argue, etc. ऐसे के कोई बहुत सारे पर्पसेस होते हैं. इसका पर्पस किसी चीज़ को डिस्क्राइब करना भी हो सकता है. इसका पर्पस किसी चीज़ के बारे में नरेट करना भी हो सकता है. किसी चीज़ के बारे में एनालिसिस देना भी हो सकता है. दो चीज़ों का कंपेयर करना भी हो सकता है. किसी चीज़ों का कंट्रास्ट भी हो सकता है. किसी चीज़ के बारे में आर्ग्यूमेंट भी हो सकता है. एंड देयर आर सो मेनी अदर रीजंस, पर्पसेस. But the basic structure is the same, no matter what essay type of purposes. आप जिस भी चीज़ के बारे में लिख रहे हो, आपका essay का जो structure है that remains the same, no matter what. So remember that you may be writing an essay to argue for a particular point of view or to explain the steps necessary to complete a task. Either way, your essay will have the same basic format. आपका essay का format same रहता है चाहे आप किसी भी तरह का और किसी भी चीज़ के बारे में essay लिख रहे हो. There are many different kinds of essays, including narrative essays, descriptive essays, persuasive essays, comparison contrast essays, cause and effect essays. These are the different types of essays. Suppose you are asked to write a 100-word essay about someone in your family. Since you only have a limited number of words, you may want to focus on one particular characteristic of that person or one particular incident from that person's life, rather than trying to write about that person's entire life. What I have just told you, that suppose you only have 100 words, you only have to write the 100 words essay about someone in your family. Since you only have a limited number of words, आपके पास वर्ड्स जो हैं वो थोड़े हैं, आप इससे ज़्यादा एक वर्ड भी नहीं लिख सकते हो. सो यू मे वॉन्ट टू फोकस ऑन वन पर्टिकुलर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ दैट पर्सन और वन पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट फ्रॉम दैट पर्सनस लाइफ. किसी एक चीज़, उसके किसी एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक के बारे में या फिर उसके किसी कोई एक इंसिडेंट उसके लाइफ में से आप लेकर लिखोगे, rather than trying to write about that person's entire life. If you have a narrow focus, will help you will automatically write a more interesting and readable essay within the word limit. Brainstorming is a process for generating new ideas. Brainstorming is the name given to a situation when a group of people or an individual sit to generate new ideas around a specific area of interest. Using brainstorming techniques, you are able to think more freely and move into new areas of thought and so create numerous new ideas and solutions. Brainstorming क्या है? Brainstorming एक process है जो आपको help करता है to generate new ideas. Brainstorming is the name given to a situation जहाँ पर a group of people or an individual sit to generate new ideas. एक साथ बैठे हुए हों to generate new ideas around a specific area of interest, किसी एक चीज़ के बारे में. Using brainstorming techniques, you are able to think more freely and move into new areas of thought and so create numerous new ideas and solutions. जब आप brainstorming होती है, that gives you a new world to write about something. आपके पास न्यू आइडियाज़ आते हैं, आपके पास न्यू सॉल्यूशंस आते हैं, आप नए तरीके से उसी चीज़ के बारे में सोचने लगते हो. सो ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग इज़ रियली अ हेल्पफुल प्रोसेस. The introduction is the first paragraph of the paper. It often begins with a general statement about the topic or states the main idea of your essay. The purpose of the introduction is to let the reader know what the topic is, inform the reader about your point of view, arouse the reader's curiosity so that he or she will want to read about your topic. क्या है introduction में क्या होता है? It's the first paragraph of the paper. It often begins with a general statement about the topic or states the main idea of your essay. The purpose of the introduction is let the reader know what the topic is about. किस चीज़ के बारे में आपके essay में बात होने वाली है उसको बताया जाए. Inform the reader about your point of view. आपका point of view क्या है उस चीज़ के बारे में. आपके reader की curiosity को आपने कैसे बढ़ाना है so that he or she will read the paragraph or would want to read it. The body of the paper consists of a number of paragraphs in which you actually add details and develop your ideas point by point. इसमें बहुत सारे पैराग्राफ्स आते हैं जिसके अंदर आप बहुत सारी डिटेल्स ऐड करते हो और हर आइडिया दूसरे आइडिया से लिंक कर रहा होता है. लिमिट ईच पैराग्राफ टू वन मेन आइडिया. डोंट ट्राई टू टॉक अबाउट मोर देन वन आइडिया पर पैराग्राफ. हर पैराग्राफ में एक आइडिया के बारे में बात की जाए. Use transition words such as and, again, and then, besides, equally important, finally, furthermore, nor, to, next, lastly, what's more, moreover, in addition, first, whereas, but, yet, On the other hand, however, nevertheless, etc. The conclusion is the last paragraph of the paper. Its purpose is to summarize and reinforce your main points and give your essay completeness. Conclusion में आप हर चीज़ को conclude कर रहे होते हो, end कर रहे होते हो और reinforce कर रहे होते हो अपने main points to give the ending to your essay. Edit and proofread. Revising, editing, or proofreading involves rethinking your ideas, refining your arguments, reorganizing paragraphs, and rewording sentences. Proofreading से क्या होता है? आप जब उसको पढ़ते हो, पहले तो आप एक दफ़ा एक चीज़ लिख लेते हो, फिर जब उसको दोबारा पढ़ते हो तो आपको कुछ और मतलब लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आप एक वर्ड आपने एक सेंटेंस में यूज़ किया, जब आप उसको दोबारा पढ़ोगे तो आपको कुछ उससे बेहतर सेंटेंस आपके दिमाग में आएगा. सो यू कैन पुट दैट एट दैट प्लेस, पुट दैट वर्ड इन दैट प्लेस. सो दैट्स हाउ you can अपनी राइटिंग को और बेहतर और खूबसूरत बना सकते हो by doing the proofreading. पैराग्राफ्स को रीऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हो, अपने 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 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को रिफाइन कर सकते हो, अपने आइडियाज़ को रीथिंक करके अच्छा और बेहतर तरीके से लिख सकते हो, अपने सेंटेंसेस को नए अल्फाज दे सकते हो. You may think that there is a need to develop your ideas in more detail, give more evidence to support your claims, or delete material that is unnecessary. या फिर आपको अगर कोई चीज़ unnecessary लगती है तो आप उसको erase कर सकते हो. Read your paper out loud. This makes it easier to identify mistakes. मैं बहुत दफ़ा ऐसे करती हूँ. When I write something, I read it aloud. And believe in me, उससे मुझे बहुत मदद मिलती है. अगर मुझे लगता है कि हाँ मैंने कुछ irrelevant डाला है तो मैं उसको मिटा देती हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि हाँ मैं इससे बेहतर वर्ड इस जगह पे इस्तेमाल कर सकती हूँ, मैं उस जगह को उस वर्ड से रिप्लेस कर देती हूँ. So yes, reading aloud really helps. Look for careless errors such as misspelled words and incorrect punctuation, etc. Proofreading से आप में अपने स्पेलिंग्स अगर कहीं गलत लिख दिए तो वो ठीक कर सकते हो, अपनी punctuation ठीक कर सकते हो. The introductory sentence through which the writer introduces the topic in the paragraph 1, label it as IS. The introductory sentence को हम किससे लेबल करते हैं? IS से करते हैं, जिसमें हम पैराग्राफ के बारे में जिसके अपने through which the writer introduces the topic in the paragraph. There are 7 paragraphs. Identify the main idea of each paragraph. Label it as main idea. Number 3. After identifying the main ideas of all paragraphs, find out the supporting details for each main idea. Label it as ST. Main introductory sentences को आप किससे लेबल करते हो? IS से. अपने मेन आइडिया को आप किससे लेबल करते हो? MI से. और अपने सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स को आप किससे लेबल करते हो? ST से. Got it? So what you have read today, there's so many things that you have read. You have read about the essay writing, and in which you have read about how you supposed to write the essays. An essay is what is essay basically at first? An essay is a piece of writing that generally shows the writer's view on a particular subject. किसी एक चीज़ के बारे में लिखने वाले का क्या व्यू है, वो उस चीज़ के बारे में कैसे सोचता है और उस चीज़ के बारे में क्या समझता है. Essay is basically about that, about the idea of the one particular person about the given topic. Then an essay can have many purposes, such as to describe about something, to narrate, to analyze, to compare, to contrast, to argue. But the basic structure is the same, no matter what essay type or purpose is. So remember that you may be writing an essay to argue for a particular point of view or to explain the steps necessary to complete a task. Either way, your essay will have the same basic format. There are many different kinds of essays, including narrative essay, descriptive essay, persuasive essays, comparison contrast essay, course and effect essay. Then suppose you are asked to write a 100-word essay about someone in your family. Since you have only a limited amount of words, you may want to focus on one particular characteristic or one incident that has happened in that person's life, rather than to trying to write the entire life of that person. Then came the brainstorming. Brainstorming is a process for generating new ideas. Brainstorming is the name given to a situation when a group of people or an individual sit to generate new ideas around a specific area of interest. Using brainstorming techniques, you are able to think more freely and move into new areas of thought and to create numerous new ideas and solutions. आपको समझ में आ गया होगा कि brainstorming का क्या पर्पस है, इसको क्यों इस्तेमाल किया जाता है और इससे क्या बेनिफिट होता है, आपको न्यू आइडियाज़ मिलते हैं. Brainstorming is a group creativity technique है actually ये, by which you help by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its members. एक ग्रुप में बैठ के साथ की जाती है जिसमें आपको हर ग्रुप के हर मेंबर से एक नया आइडिया मिलता है. फॉर एग्जांपल किसी चीज़ को सॉर्ट करना है तो उसके लिए भी, and you get the ideas to solve the same problem. In other words, brainstorming is a situation where a group of people meet to generate new ideas and solutions around a specific domain of interest by removing inhibitions. People are able to think more freely and they suggest as many spontaneous new ideas as possible. All the ideas are noted down without criticism, and after the brainstorming session, the ideas are evaluated. The introduction is the first paragraph of the paper, then comes the body, and the last is the conclusion of the paper. Its purpose is to summarize and reinforce your main points and give your essay completeness. Proofreading से क्या होता है? Proofreading से आपकी writing और बेहतर होती है. It involves rethinking your ideas, refining them, refining your arguments, reorganizing paragraphs, and rewarding sentences. जिसके अंदर आप पंक्चुएशन को ठीक करते हो, अपने केयरलेस एरर्स को ठीक करते हो, अपने मिस्टेक्स को ठीक करते हो, इनकरेक्ट वर्ड्स को ठीक करते हो. फिर आपने सबसे पहले आपने पढ़ा permissions के बारे में. Permission क्या है? It is one such common function that we use every single day. It is used by each of us, by me, by you, by the whole world. And the different ways of asking permissions and the different ways to seek for it. Can I ask you a question? Do you mind if I smoke? Is it okay if I sit here? There are different ways for giving permission. There are different expressions like sure, go ahead, certainly, no problem, all right, no, of course not, of course. There's so many expressions for refusing the permissions. I would rather you didn't. Sorry, no, yes, I do mind. Do you mind if I use your computer? Yes, of course, please help yourself. There's so many ways of asking and refusing permissions. Do you mind if I use your computer? I do mind, it's a very expensive equipment. Can I use your computer? No, you can't, I am working. Refusing permissions. Refusing permissions can be very tricky. If it is refused in a very rough, abrupt manner, the other person will probably feel very hurt and insulted. A friendlier way to refuse permission is to use the phrase, I would rather you didn't because I am doing an important work at the moment. Read these short dialogues and notice a friendlier way to refuse permission. It's a bit hot. Do you mind if I open the window? Well, I would rather you didn't. You see, it's summer and you might get a lot of insects coming in, but I'll switch on the air conditioners if you like. Is it okay if I smoke? Well, I would rather you didn't smoke in the house. Do you think you could go outside and smoke? While refusing permission, you may add a short hesitation phrase, well. Other possibilities could be actually, well, to tell you the truth. Use the phrase, I would rather you didn't. Give a reason, often an alternative. I will switch on the air conditioner if you like. Modal verbs के बारे में आपने पढ़ा. Modal verbs are used when we express possibilities or impossibilities. We learned the use of can. You have to remember that informal is not the same as impolite. Informal speech is used in relaxed and friendly situations. Formal speech is used to show respect. Impolite speech is angry, rude, and probably insulting. And then you read about the structure, future continuous, present simple, that are about a definite schedule and timetable usually contain future words. The train leaves Sucker at 9 p.m. tonight. Jamal starts work next week. Present continuous sentences that are about a definite plan or arrangement usually contain future words, or the future is understood from the context. Maria is taking her matric exam next year. They can't play tennis with you tomorrow. They are working. We are going to the theater on Friday. When the speaker is making a prediction based on evidence, there are clouds, it is going to rain. When the speaker already has an intentional plan, we are going to write a report tomorrow. She has won the lottery. She says she is going to Dubai. When the speaker is making a prediction, tomorrow will be hot and sunny. People will face severe climatic changes in the next decade. When the speaker decides to do something at the time of speaking and had no previous plan but is spontaneous, hold on, I'll get a pen. Maybe we'll stay longer and watch television. Future continuous is used in English to show that you are in the middle of doing something at the given moment. The action will have been started and it will not have finished at that instant. It is formed with the auxiliary will followed by another verb in its ing form. Going to can be used instead of will. I'll be visiting my friend this weekend. I'm going to visit my friend. They'll be cooking at 6. They're going to be cooking at 6. How can we form future continuous tense? Read the rules given below. Will be plus verb plus ing. Am is are plus going to plus verb plus ing. The future continuous is used to indicate that a longer action in the future will be interrupted. It is used to indicate a specific time as an interruption, to show parallel actions, to tell about the atmosphere. So yes, that's all what we read today in today's lecture. I hope you would have understood. If you find out anything difficult, if you think that you wouldn't have understood it, you haven't understood it, do let me know. I would be waiting for all the questions. Thank you. Take care. Bless you all. Khuda Hafiz.